This is you as a child, and this is an authority figure that you were raised by. This authority figure is a star, and you're young, so you don't really know who you are yet, but eventually you'll start to discover who you are and express that. Eventually, at a certain age, you'll start to learn that you're a heart. You're a heart person instead of a star person. But the star person, the authority figure, they don't want you to be this. They want you to be exactly what they are. What you don't know as a child is that this person, this authority figure, has expectations for you that are a little unrealistic or kind of inconsiderate of you being your own person. This authority figure starts to abandon you and reject you for being who you are because you're not being who they wanted you to be. So you start to internalize that as you being bad. You being different is you being wrong. So you start to abandon yourself. You start to change yourself because all you want is to be accepted. Being rejected means that you're not going to get your basic needs met. Being rejected means that you're going to be neglected. You're going to be avoided. You're not going to be loved in the way that you deserve to be loved. You start to feel shameful because hearts are bad. You shouldn't want to be a heart. Being a heart is bad, and you're going to shame that part of yourself because you need to leave that part of yourself behind so that these other people don't leave you behind. So all throughout your life, you start to learn that abandoning yourself is the way to avoid other people abandoning you. We were fundamentally taught to shame parts of ourselves, ignore parts of ourselves, neglect parts of ourselves, abandon parts of ourselves because it's what made other people happy. So now we are terrified that everyone else in the world is going to abandon us because we're not enough. Oh my God, they're going to figure out about these parts of ourselves that are going to be rejected. I can't let them figure this stuff out. I have to abandon this part of myself. I have to ignore it. I have to suppress it. I have to shove it deep down. And now the reason you fear abandonment in everybody else is because you are a living embodiment of abandoning yourself every single day. It's not your fault that you were taught this behavior. You should have so much compassion for yourself because you did not deserve this. This belief system that you were forced to have and develop is not correct, and you are allowed to think differently. You are allowed to love yourself. You're allowed to accept yourself, even if it's not accepted by other people. Now, let's go ahead and make the avocado toast, and we can talk a little bit more about shame while we do so. This is everything we're going to be using today. We have whole wheat bread for the toast. We have an avocado. We have 2 eggs. We have onions for the avocado mash that we'll be making, and Texas Pete hot sauce. First, we're going to cut up the avocado and we're going to put it into the bowl. I typically just use a spoon and I scoop it out. I then dump all of my pre-cut onions into the bowl. I put some hot sauce in it because I like spicy food. And this is what we're working with so far. And then I go ahead and mash all the ingredients together to make avocado mash. Shame is the emotion we feel when we start to believe that we are a problem. We are bad. We didn't do something bad. We didn't do something hurtful. We are bad and we are hurtful. Shame is an evolutionary emotion that humans developed whenever we became tribal. We cannot survive without our tribe. So if we were to be outcasted, it meant death. So we needed to be a part of the tribe. We needed to be accepted under every circumstance. But life is different now than how it was in the past. We don't have to shame parts of ourselves that are just different in order to not be casted out. It's okay to be different and it's okay to be divergent. It's our job now, it's our responsibility to construct a secure sense of self so that way we are secure in ourselves enough that if someone doesn't accept us, we still accept ourselves for who we are in the moment and love ourselves enough to change what might need to be changed or work on what might need to be worked on. Our fear of abandonment is rooted in shame because we think that we're an embodiment of bad, we're an embodiment of wrong, and that's why someone's abandoning us. That's why someone's leaving us. That's why someone's rejecting us. But a natural part of life is abandonment and rejection because sometimes what's meant for us isn't meant for other people. Let's go ahead and put the bread in the toaster. 2 pieces of bread. And now we're gonna go ahead and make the eggs. We're gonna turn the stove on low. I cook it on low because if not, it cooks way too fast and it gets too hard. We're gonna put some butter on the pan and wait for it to heat up. The core root of healing your fear of abandonment is to start with yourself. Stop abandoning yourself. Look at the parts of yourself that you think are bad, that you think are unworthy, that you think need to be suppressed and avoided and rejected, and start accepting them. It doesn't mean you have to condone it if it's an unproductive behavior or an unproductive belief system. Thank you, bestie. The goal is to love every part of yourself, even the darker parts of yourself, because you want to know what helps the darkness turn into the light by shining light on the darkness. We can't expect the dark parts of ourselves to stop being dark if we're not even willing to shine light on them. I always add a bunch of butter because if I don't, the egg just gets stuck to the pan. So I would encourage you to use a lot of butter. Put a pool of butter in the pan. I'm not a chef. Take my advice with a grain of salt. We're gonna crack this and then put it on the pan. That made a mess. I put a lid on top so it cooks a little bit more on the top, but then we'll take it off shortly. While I wait for the egg to cook, I go ahead and put the avocado mash on the toast, so that's what we're gonna be doing right now. I spread it out over the toast like so. And now we have the avocado toast. We're gonna check on the egg in here, do a little work and magic. Wee-oo, wee-oo. We're gonna go ahead and put the sunny side up egg on the toast. Like so. Perfect! And we do the second egg. So I just wanted you to know that having a fear of abandonment is not something to shame yourself for or to ridicule yourself for. It's actually completely reasonable that you have a fear of abandonment given everything you've gone through, but we deserve to learn how to accept ourselves, and then acceptance from others will follow suit. We're constantly sacrificing our authenticity because we think that that's the price to pay for community. Sometimes it's okay to be alone. Sometimes you have to be alone for a while to learn who you are, to discover yourself, to get to know yourself. But once you find out who you are and who you accept yourself to be, you're gonna start finding people who are gonna accept you exactly the way you are, your flaws and everything. They're gonna love the parts of you that you once deemed as unworthy, as unlovable, as a burden. You're not any of those things. You are lovable, you're not a burden, and you are worth something. You have so much fucking value, you just have to perceive yourself to have it. Guys, the egg came out so bad, I have to restart. When we reject ourselves, we abandon ourselves, we don't know who we are, we just accept anything that we can get. We have no standards because we think we're not even deserving of them. I'm so unlovable that I'll take anybody who's gonna love me. I'm so worthless that I'll take anybody who perceives me to have any kind of worth. We end up in toxic, abusive relationships because we think we're deserving of them. We're so terrified of someone horrible and toxic abandoning us because we're too scared to stop abandoning ourselves and change what we've always thought life is supposed to be. I'm supposed to hate myself. I'm supposed to be bad. I'm supposed to be this. This is what I was taught. What I was taught is all right. These are the final results of the avocado toast. And no, this doesn't look aesthetic, but fuel for our body isn't supposed to be aesthetic sometimes, okay? So get over it. As much as it hurts to accept, the belief systems that we were taught to have are all incorrect, and we have to start from scratch. We have to stop abandoning ourselves. We have to stop settling for relationships that aren't good for us, and we have to start thinking and believing that we're deserving of more. You deserve love. You deserve more. You deserve compassion. You deserve patience. You don't have to shame yourself every day of your life because that's what someone taught you you have to do. Breaking generational curses, generational misinformation, generational belief systems, it's not easy. It takes a lot of effort, and I just want you to know how strong you are for even trying, for even thinking about it. Some people don't even consider the things that they need to change about what they were taught. They think that everything they were taught was right, but some of us, we suffer because of what we were taught. You don't have to suffer anymore. You don't have to shame yourself anymore, and you don't have to accept less than what you deserve. I love you. I hope that you were able to take some things from this video. If you didn't, please just leave this video knowing that you are sexy, you are valid, and you are so loved, and I will see you in the next video.
Hope you like my videos. Is there anything else I'm supposed to say as a YouTuber?